Hi and welcome.
I never thought I'd be the kind of person who would say I knew all along. But looking back now, I did. My name is Rachel. I'm 42. For 18 years, I was married to David. We met when we were both still figuring ourselves out. I was fresh out of grad school, working at a nonprofit, and he was a rising star in corporate law. David had that kind of energy that filled the room. Charming, sharp, funny without trying. I fell for him fast, and when we married 3 years later, I thought I'd found my forever. The early years were beautiful. We traveled when we could afford it. We spent Sundays making breakfast together. We dreamed about family, about growing old side by side. And then, as life does, things shifted. David's career took off. He was working longer hours, often away on business. I poured myself into my work, then into community projects. We drifted, but I thought that was normal. We were building a life. I believed that once things settled down, we'd come back to each other. It started small, little things you could brush off if you wanted to. A text he answered in another room. A sudden interest in going to the gym at 9 p.m. A cologne I didn't recognize. I told myself not to be paranoid, but my gut whispered something else. Then came the night that confirmed everything. David was in Chicago for a conference. I was home, scrolling through social media, when a photo popped up in my feed, posted by a mutual acquaintance who clearly didn't realize I'd see it. There was David, not in Chicago, at a rooftop bar in our own city, and beside him, leaning in close, was a woman I'd never seen before. I stared at the screen until the image burned itself into my brain. When he came home the next day, I didn't confront him. Instead, I hugged him, asked about his trip, and listened as he lied to me, right to my face. Over the next month, I became a quiet detective in my own marriage. I checked credit card statements. I noticed hotel charges just a few miles from our house. I watched him leave in the mornings with 2 changes of clothes in his bag. And slowly I built a plan. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to make him the center of my pain. My revenge would be silent. I started by protecting myself. I opened my own bank account, transferred small amounts of money he wouldn't notice, consulted with a lawyer. I gathered proof, not because I wanted to use it in court, but because I wanted the truth in my hands, undeniable. And then I waited. Our 18th anniversary was coming up. David suggested dinner at our favorite restaurant, the one where we'd celebrated so many milestones. I agreed. I even bought a new dress. But before we left the house, I handed him a gift, a leather-bound photo album. He smiled, surprised. "You didn't have to open it," I said. The first few pages were from our early years. Vacations, birthdays, silly moments in our old apartment. Then the photos began to change. Grainy shots of him and the other woman, hotel receipts, screenshots of text messages. By the time he reached the last page, his hands were trembling. It was a single line, printed in bold. "I stopped waiting for you to come back to me." I stood, took my purse, and walked out the door. By the time David got home that night, the locks had been changed. My belongings were gone. On the kitchen counter was a manila envelope, divorce papers, already signed by me. I never saw him again. People ask me if I regret not fighting for the marriage. My answer is always the same. I did fight. I fought for years. I just stopped fighting for someone who had already left.